Welcome to our new video on Animal Kingdom. Once upon a time, in a vast jungle, there were many different animals, each with their own unique characteristics. These animals were classified into different groups based on their characteristics, such as their shape, size, and color. One day, a group of curious animals set out on a journey to explore the jungle and learn about the different ways of classifying the animals that lived there. They met an old wise owl who was well versed in the subject of Animal Kingdom. The owl explained that all animals could be classified into different groups based on their characteristics. He told them that these groups were arranged in a hierarchical manner, with the most general group at the top and the most specific group at the bottom. He also mentioned that this system of classification was known as taxonomy. The animals were amazed to learn that there were so many different types of animals in the jungle and each one had its own unique characteristics. The owl then took the animals on a tour of the jungle, pointing out different animals and explaining how they were classified. They saw a lion and the owl explained that it belonged to the animal kingdom in the class of mammals. They also saw a snake and the owl explained that it belonged to the animal kingdom, the class of reptiles, and the order of squamata. The owl also showed them how different animals were classified into different groups such as Porifera, Cnidaria, Platyhelminthes, Nematoda, Annelida, Mollusca, Arthropoda, Echinodermata, and Chordata, and their characteristics that make them different from one another. He explained that the Porifera were simple sponges, Cnidaria were aquatic, radially symmetrical animals, such as jellyfish and sea anemones, Platyhelminthes were flatworms, Nematoda were roundworms. Annelida were segmented worms, Mollusca were snails, clams, and squids. Arthropoda were insects, spiders, and crustaceans, Echinodermata were starfish and sea urchins. Hemichordata were marine animals and chordata were animals that had a notochord, such as fish, amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals. The owl also explained how animals were further classified into different classes within each phylum, such as the class Cyclostomata and the phylum Chordata, which included animals such as hagfishes and lampreys. The class Amphibia in the phylum Chordata, which included animals such as frogs and salamanders. The class Reptilia in the phylum Chordata, which included animals such as snakes and lizards. And the class Aves in the phylum Chordata, which included birds and many more. He also explained that each class had their own unique characteristics and features, and that the classification of animals into different classes was important for understanding the diversity of life in the jungle. As the journey came to an end, the animals realized that the jungle was a diverse place, filled with many different types of animals. They learned about the different ways of classifying animals into different groups based on their characteristics, and the importance of understanding the diversity of life in the jungle. The owl, who was an expert in the subject of Animal Kingdom, had taught them about the different groups of animals and their characteristics. He had explained how animals were classified into different groups such as Porifera, Cnidaria, Platyhelminthes, Nematoda, Annelida, Mollusca, Arthropoda, Echinodermata, Chordata, Hemichordata, and how animals were further classified into different classes within each phylum, such as the class Cyclostomata, class Amphibia, class Reptilia, class Aves and class Mammalia, which includes animals such as elephants, lions, tigers, bears and human beings. As they bid farewell to the owl and returned home, the animals were filled with a sense of wonder and appreciation for the diversity of life in the jungle, and the importance of understanding the different characteristics and classification of the animals. The end. This is a summary of the chapter Animal Kingdom from Class 11th Insert Biology book. It covers the importance of taxonomy, classification, and understanding the diversity of animals and the different characteristics of different groups of animals. Like Porifera, Cnidaria, Platyhelminthes, Nematoda, Annelida, Mollusca, Arthropoda, Echinodermata, Hemichordata, and Chordata, and further classification of animals into different classes within each phylum, such as the class Cyclostomata, class Amphibia, class Reptilia, class Aves and class Mammalia. We hope you enjoyed our video on Animal Kingdom. We hope the story-based format helped you to understand the chapter better. If you have any questions or feedback, please reach out to us. Thank you for joining us and stay tuned for more exciting content.